All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the San Diego Bass Fishing Podcast. Today we have an update from Tom Lowery. He is the main guy behind the Friends of the San Diego Lakes. And we are just, like I said, we're going to give an update here and tell you guys what is on our agenda and what has been happening here for the last couple of months. So
Yeah.
what what is going on with the Friends of the Lakes? Have you guys been having meetings? Who are you meeting with? What's
Yeah.
happening?
Yeah. Well, you're a part of it too, Bruce. So, don't be
Yeah.
don't be too modest. Don't be too modest. The main guy, that's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. No, first of all, thanks for having me on again today. This is a long-term thing. It's a long-term thing, and there's a
Yeah.
handful of us. There's a handful of us that talk regularly. Me, you, Dave, and Rob McGargle.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to be here. I'll give an update, and there are some things I want to put out there. So thanks for having me. The first thing that I want to say, because we always wait till the end to do this, but I want to do it at the beginning. I want to do it at the beginning. We need more members. We need more members. We need more support. So if you're watching this right now, if you're listening to this right now, if you're driving and you're listening to this, or you're at home working in the garage or rigging up or whatever, just do me a favor. Please do me a favor. If you don't already, please go to our Facebook page, Friends of the San Diego Lakes Facebook page, and like our page. Same thing with Instagram. Go to our Instagram and follow us on Instagram. Both of those things.
Yeah.
We've got about 900 on Facebook, and we got about 400 or 500 on Instagram. We need to get to a few thousand. Like we need 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. So we got to build our base. We got to build our membership. So guys, you guys have been great, but let's keep doing it. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, cousins, uncles, brothers, sisters. We need more members, because what we're dealing with, like it or not. And I think we talk about a lot of this stuff, and I'm going to repeat some things because people forget. So some of the things I want to put out there today might be a little bit repetitive, but like it or not, we're dealing with the government. Our San Diego City lakes are ran by the government. They make the decisions, they make the calls. And so they're not going to do anything unless a large group of people tell them to, or try to tell them to. So we need a large group of people, right? I want to give a shout out and thank Rob McGargle, because he's helping a lot recently, and he's got like 4,000 people on that San Diego bass fishing page, right?
Yeah.
So, and we use that. So it's just all about growth. It's all about growth. About growth. So, as far as an update, I mean, I have a few updates, but it's a slow process, Bruce. Man, what we're doing, what we're trying to do, and because you've been a part of it. We're all busy. I'm super busy with my real full-time job, right? And so I work on this when I can. I wish I could work on this full-time. But you and I talk. It's a slow process.
Okay. So I kind of want to bring this into perspective here. And so we've been almost at this for a year. Yeah. This whole thing started like in February of 2024, right?
Yeah.
So we are already looking at the budget process of 2026. So we got to start this all over again.
Yeah.
Like this whole thing appearing in front of the city council and telling them what we want, it's got to start all over again, which is which is kind of nutty for me. It, it's already been a year, and we're gonna need a bunch more help. And so I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
No. I would.
at the same time, it's just like, wow, this is kind of, here we are a year later. I mean, we have one thing under our belt, but we got a whole list of stuff that's going on.
No, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. And I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you brought that up because that's one of the things I wanted to talk about today. I always say this. We have short-term goals and long-term goals.
Mhm.
I put a lot of thought into this group and what we're trying to be about and what we want to be about. And we're about the big picture. We're about, fixing, the maybe not fixing, but preventing budget cuts. Like that's the number one thing is preventing budget cuts because
Yeah,
to your point, they're going to try it again. It's we're on the chopping block every year.
every year. Yeah.
Every year. Yeah.
And granted, I haven't found out anything about us getting budget cuts, and I don't think there's anything. So I don't think there's anything out there on the future. But again, we didn't find out last year until that was just kind of happenstance. We were like in a meeting for something else, and we found out about it in this kind of
Yeah.
weird way.
So just
So
to remind everybody, what Bruce is talking about, what we're talking about is we learned that there was going to be a budget cut for 2025, which is 2 months away, less than 2 months away, right? We learned there was going to be a budget cut for 2025, and they were going to cut a month out of the schedule at El Cap. They're going to cut some days out of Sutherland and a month or two out of Hodges. And so we did our campaign. And we did a lot of things, and we got the money from the county. We got the county to put up the money. So our efforts with the city council even fell flat because we
yeah,
didn't end
yeah,
up
they
getting
did.
the money from the city council. But
Yeah.
what we did get from doing that is we got a lot of awareness, and they know what we're all about. Like they didn't even know what we were all about. They don't even think
Hmm.
about the lakes. The city
Hmm.
council doesn't even think about the lakes in East County. They think about Miramar and they think about Murray, but they don't think about the lakes in East County. So anyway, we won. We achieved our goal. That they're not going to mess with the lakes for next year, right?
Right.
But guess what? 2026 is right around the corner, and they're starting budget for
Right.
2026. They always start
Right.
a year in advance.
Yeah.
So if you go to my our Facebook page, the Friends Facebook page, and you look at my last post like a week ago, I spell all this out
Hmm.
and the 2026 dates and the timeline and stuff. So that's what we're going to be working on next. And we're kind of going to do the same thing, but a little different. So yeah, to your point, our number one thing is to prevent cuts, and it's hard to like get excited about, oh gosh, we did this fantastic thing because you don't see it, you know.
Right.
You'll see it.
Yeah.
You'll see it when you show up to the lake and the lake's closed. You'll see
Right.
it then. But
But they don't
we
see it
just
this
want to.
January when they go fishing and the lake is open, just by normal. There's going to be a lot of people there this January that'll have no idea that it was supposed to be closed.
Yeah,
That it
and
would have been closed.
exactly.
Yeah.
If we
Oh yeah.
didn't achieve that, if we didn't win that battle for this coming year, you would have drove to El Cap in January and it wouldn't have been open.
Yeah.
So we're pretty happy about that. But we've celebrated that a lot. um so yeah, back to kind of the long term and short term. I mean, we have a laundry list of things we want to fix and get done. And um One of my big things that I is super important to me is the road at El Cap, right? We've
Okay.
talked about this.
Yeah. What's
And
happening?
okay, so we've been promised a new road. We've
I
been
know. I
promised a
know.
new road at El Cap. If you're listening to this, you're probably saying, "Oh my God, we need that." You know, we all know
We're
we need that.
We were, yeah. And
We've been,
this was part of our conversation with the PUD, the Public Utilities Department, last year in February, and they told us in February that there was going to be a new road, that they're working on building a new road, maintaining the road, whatever. In February of last year, we're not lying to you. We're because this is November and we're coming up on Thanksgiving and nothing has been done. In fact, the road is worse now than it was because it just rained last week. And now there's chunks of asphalt coming up again. And it's as bad as I've ever seen it. And so here we are.
yeah.
What's happening?
So,
Nothing.
so we've been okay. So we've been Yeah, I mean, we've been patient. You know, I'm in communication with them on
Mm-hmm.
on a semi-regular basis. Sometimes I get a response, sometimes I don't. Um, I'm trying to be patient. I've been told to be patient. It's coming. It's coming. But it can't come
Right.
soon enough. It can't come soon
Right.
enough, right?
Yeah.
So it is coming. I'm due for a follow-up. And you know, uh, I lost my train of thought, but I firmly believe we'll get it. I just don't know when. I
Right.
just don't know when. But
And have you been out there lately to El Cap?
yeah, I've been there. Well, not like yesterday or whatever, but I've been out there
Have
lately.
you seen those wooden structures on the dam?
No, I have not seen that, but I saw somebody posted a picture. Andre posted a picture. What's going on there? They're doing some
We don't. Oh,
patchwork or something.
yeah, I
Nobody
think they're
knows.
gonna. I think they're. I- it's there's a theory going on that they're gonna pump concrete down into the dam just to shore it up, for the next 10 years until they
Uh-oh.
can get to it. People are like, oh, they're working on the dam. It's like, no, we know what's going on is they're just shoring it up so it doesn't break in 10 years because it's in critical condition.
Yeah.
That and then they started working on the spillway. So they worked on the spillway for about a month and a half and doing cement work over there and filling in cracks over there. So Lake Oroville scenario doesn't happen at El Capitan. And then now they've got these wooden structures on the face of the dam or the lake side of the dam. And I think they're going to be pumping concrete down into it to shore it up some more. That's my opinion anyway.
Yeah, when it comes to the dam stuff, I mean, man, that's a whole animal in itself. We're not really too involved with the dam stuff, except for
Right.
we are,
Yeah.
except we're collaborating with the Friends of Lake Hodges group. The Friends of
Yeah.
Lake Hodges group, they're pretty active about the dam at Lake Hodges and speeding. They've done a lot of good work in trying to speed up the process of building that dam because Marnie's the city council person out there, Marnie Van Wilpert,
Yeah.
and her constituents are pretty fired up that the lake's
It,
so low and it's closed and this and that.
yeah. It's in her backyard.
Yeah,
It's
so
it's funny how it's funny how things get done when the lake is so close to constituents and the the city council person's house,
yes,
essentially.
yes. So
And nothing
it's
against
funny that
Marnie. She's helped us a lot. I get it. But
yeah, yeah. It's
things are
funny that you
happening up
say
at Lake
that. Yeah.
Hodges.
No, they are. And look, the dam build stuff we really have no control over.
Right. Yeah.
Um, I mean, they're going to do that's like a state issue. And that, I mean, that's what's going to happen. Eventually, El Cap's going to get a new dam and it's going to be closed like San Vicente was. So be
Yeah.
ready for that. You know,
Yeah.
everything's very slow, but be ready for that. But I want to make a comment on what you just said about it's funny how the kind of support the lakes want, and it's not just the dam. They're trying to do other things around Lake Hodges. Marnie's asked for more funding um, in her priorities for 2026 budget. I was reading about, it's online. There's each city council person has priorities for their 2026 budget posted online, right? And so Marnie specifically spells out more funding for Lake Hodges recreation. The problem we have out here in the county is we don't have a city council person that represents our. We have the county board of supervisors, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's funny. You've got Raul Campillo around Lake Murray. You've got Kent Lee around Miramar. Lake Murray's open every day. Yeah. Lake Miramar is open every day. So Miramar's open every day. Murray's open every day. El Cap's not. Sutherland's not. San Vicini's not. So, and nobody goes there. I mean, I shouldn't say nobody goes there, but those aren't really revenue producing lakes. Okay. So it's not about money. It is about money, but it's not about money. You see where I'm going with this? It's like, like Murray's open every day and they can staff it every day. There's not 50 boats out there every day. But there's a lot of so anyway, there's a lot of disparities and there's a lot of differences. And one of the things that, so we work with Joel Anderson's office a lot. Okay. So our political support and our political angle, because you have to have that to make progress. And that is through Joel Anderson's office. That is our political person in the county, because we don't have a city council person. So we have board of supervisors. So, and Joel's office is doing a great job for us. And we have a standing monthly meeting with his office. Yeah. So we have a standing monthly meeting with his office, and we talk about these things. We talk about our priorities. We talk about what the fishermen want, what the recreational boaters want, all of the list of things we want to accomplish, but more specifically the budget. And there's this project going on right now that is considering having the county, basically county park and rec, take over parts, if not all of the recreation at El Cap and Sutherland. Okay.
And Sutherland.
El Cap and Sutherland. Well, probably El Cap first and only El Cap first. We don't know exactly yet, but the county park and rec runs Marina. They run Lake Marina, right?
And they do a great job.
Yeah, exactly. And but the city still controls the water. The city's always going to control the water. The city's also always going to control the water. But the county runs Marina. And so there's this idea. It's not set in stone yet. It's not even like a for sure thing, but there's a possibility the county might take over El Cap. And that's being talked about and considered. So the county and the city don't do a lot of things until a study's done. They love to do studies, right? They love to do studies. So they've designated a group called LAFCO. LAFCO, I don't even know what it stands for. There's a group called LAFCO. You can Google it, look it up. It's a state mandated agency. Okay, LAFCO is a state mandated agency, and they are doing a study on all aspects of all the San Diego City lakes and the recreation and how they operate, the discrepancies, comparing and contrasting. Anyway, they're doing the study on recreation and operations on the San Diego City lakes. LAFCO is. It's a third party neutral, agency.
Right. Yeah.
And they're going to present that. They're going to present that to the board, the LAFCO board, and Joel Anderson's office, Jim Desmond, Nora's office, and then also the city council and the mayor. And so the idea behind this is that it's going to call out a lot of things that to where, you know, Joel Anderson's office can say, look, based on this study and based on all of these reasons and all these things we've learned, we want to do X, Y, and Z. Okay. We want to do X, Y, and Z. And one of those things is have the county take over LCAP. And if the county takes over LCAP, that means money. That means we get more money, right? And if we get more money, maybe we get the closed day back.
Is there a timeline for this, that this whole LAFCO thing is going to go down? Like they have to present their findings and then they vote on it?
Yeah. So there's a really important meeting coming up on December 2nd.
Yeah.
On December 2nd. Unless it gets rescheduled, it might get pushed back because the report might not be ready. The LAFCO report, and it will be public knowledge, or public information, is due by December 2nd because it's going to be presented at the LAFCO board meeting on December 2nd, which the public can attend.
Is it like in Sacramento or is it?
No. That's right here at the County Board of Supervisors building in Claremont. Okay. So I'm going to attend that, and then me, you, Rob, whoever. So that's a big thing that's going on.
Okay.
And that was in my latest update on our social media pages.
I guess I'm gonna have to look at that closer.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I'm sorry, but because I've heard about LAFCO 3 times this week, and it was like new to me. And I'm like, what is this? And somebody says, Dave Seaberg's like, oh, it's a big deal. This LAFCO is a big deal. Oh, you guys talked about LAFCO, and then Jim Brown talks about it, and LAFCO this, and LAFCO that, and I was like, what is going on here? What am I missing? You know what happens is I went fishing.
Yeah.
And now I'm back.
Yeah.
Now I'm back. I got 2 months back home without much to do. So here I am.
So look, I want to pause for a minute. If you're listening to this, or you're watching this, probably most likely listening, you might be thinking to yourself, what in the hell? I mean, it sounds like a lot of bureaucracy and a lot of like, why is it so difficult and complicated? And I mean, everybody knows what's going on. Why can't we just change things? And look, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's crazy.
This is a very good point that you're bringing up right now. I'm glad you're bringing that up, because it is. It's freaking crazy, and it's a mired down swamp that moves very slowly. And everybody wants to get everything done, including myself. I want to get it done. Let's get this road done. Let's do something. Let's see some kind of action. And it's not like that.
Yeah, man. And so we're with you, and we hear you, and I'm beyond frustrated too. But I've accepted the fact that it's just going to take a while, and we can't give up. We are making progress. We're making a lot of progress. We have connections that we haven't had before. We're moving the needle. Like, things are happening. The only reason LAFCO got involved in this is because of our pressure with Joel Anderson's office. And the LAFCO thing is like evidence. It's like evidence to prove and help support what we want to do in the coming years and the future. So these things happening.
I'm going to be I'm going to be an instigator here. Do you think LAFCO is on our side, or is it on their side? Are they going to go to that, have their meeting and be like, I guess I'm trying to predict stuff here, and there's a lot of ifs, but are they going to say, okay, we need to do this? Or are they going to be like, no, we
Well,
don't need to do
they're
this?
LAFCO's a state mandated agency. It's more about it's supposed to be a neutral
They don't have any
state
skin.
agency.
They don't have any skin in the game.
Right. They're the fact finders. They're the fact finders. They
All
just
right.
report factual information.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
Now I had a meeting. I'm going to talk about this for a second. I had a meeting with the LAFCO rep that is doing this investigation, this report. I had a meeting with her. She asked me a million questions. She's interviewed a lot of people, and I asked her if there's going to be a financial component to their report, meaning revenue gain,
Right.
a financial component, the revenue produced, the revenue spent, the allocation of funds, what it takes to run these lakes. And she said, not really. So they don't want us to dig into the financials, man. They don't. We tried to get the financials out of the city council, whoever before. Dwayne, remember Dwayne tried to get that. He worked on it for a while, and they don't want us to, because I don't know. I don't want to make a lot of accusations, but I don't think the funds are managed very well, and I think there's a lot of justification for changing the way the funds are used, general fund,
Right.
all that kind of stuff. And that's just getting into the weeds. That's getting into the weeds. But so it's not going to be a lot of financial stuff. But anyway, we'll see. We'll see what it is. It's supposed to help our cause. It's supposed to help our cause. So, and it's going to help the things we're trying to accomplish. But in the meantime, we have that standing meeting with Joel's office. They're well aware of the road. They're trying to help us get that sped up. You and I talked about the bathrooms the other day. The fact that the bathrooms are some of the bathrooms, the floating bathroom at San Vicente is just an absolute unacceptable, disgusting mess. It's just not acceptable. It's just not. You got a clean floating bathroom down at Otay, but you've got one that doesn't even work, and that's absolutely disgusting at San Vicente. It's just not okay. I pull up to that bathroom with my daughter, and she goes in there, and
oh yeah, me too.
It's so we don't want to be like the tattletale police or whatever, but maybe they're not aware of it. So we let them know. And so there's a new fancy orange buoy line at El Cap. It's a couple months old now, but the buoy line at El Cap was wide open. You could drive right through it. Now we got an orange buoy line out there. I mean, we don't want to be the lake police or whatever, but we want to hear. If you guys see something you don't like, let us know, man. Let us know. We want to know. And that's the other thing I want to just convey today, Bruce, as we wrap up here pretty soon, because I'm sure we've been babbling for a while. Look, we need our members to be vocal. Even when we're not campaigning. Like, we're about to campaign again in the next few months. We're going to be campaigning again. We're going to be putting things out there. We're going to want letters sent, emails sent, phone calls made, because we got 2026 budget. But in the meantime, if you live in the county, send an email, pick up the phone, call Joel's office. It doesn't have to be a big deal. He's got, a million interns that answer the phone. Tell him who you are, what your concern is, what you care about. They're going to make a note of it and log that on a
Right.
sheet.
Right.
They're going to make a note of it. Call Jim Desmond's office, Nora
Yeah.
Varga's office. Nora
I think
Varga's.
that's a really good point, is that it's not that big of a deal. I mean, you're not going to talk to Joel Anderson. You're going to call up there and leave a message, or you're going to call and leave, and an assistant or an intern is going to take your information down, and that's it. But it's going to be noted at the same time. So you don't have to be afraid to call up there and make it known what you see or how you feel.
Yeah, and they send out mailers. They send out mailers all the time. They send out they put posts, like Joel's office put posts on his social media. You guys should all be following Joel's social media. He put posts on there all the time. Click on this link.
He does.
Tell us what you think about this, where you want legislative funding, blah, blah, blah. And so that's super important. I know we all got better things to do, man. I know we got better things to do, but it's super important to do. And then if you live in the city, if you live around Lake Murray, if you live around Lake Miramar, if you know who your city, if you live in the city and you have a city council person, whether it's Kent Lee or Vivian or Henry or Raul or Marnie, same thing. Contact their office and tell them, look, the lakes are important to me. I'm a fisherman. I went out to the lake the other day and it was closed. We don't want it closed. We want it open.
Yeah.
And so, who can I talk to about that? And they're going to give you the runaround, whatever, and log your call. And it's just super important. It's just super important to be doing these things. I mean, that's what needs to be done. Or you can just follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and we'll guide that process, right? Because I'm gonna be putting a lot of stuff out there in the next few months. We're gonna be ramping up again. So be patient, guys and girls. Be patient, but it's getting better. We are making progress, even though you don't see it. You might not see these things right away. It's happening. Yeah, it's happening.
All right. So, okay, well, this went a lot longer than I thought it was going to go, which is awesome. It's great. I'm glad for it.
Yeah. Hey, I want to say a couple things as we wrap up. Bruce, I know you've been talking to Matt with the DFG about trout.
Yeah, I wanted to mention that. I didn't know if we were going to have enough time or whatever.
Yeah, I just want the listeners to hear like all the different areas that we're trying to.
Okay. So the things that I have on my mini agenda is I have been talking to it's not the DFG, it's the DFW, it's the Department of Fish and Wildlife, which they changed the name a number of years ago. We still call it the DFG. So if you hear it say DFG, that's what we mean, Department of Fish and Game. Department of Fish and Wildlife, which is, that's a whole nother thing, because they're taking the hunting away from the whole, but anyway, that's beside the point. So I've talked with a representative there, an officer. His name's Matt Lucero, and he's very receptive. He returns most of my emails, all of them. And I asked him about trout, stocking of trout into San Vicente, El Cap, Laura Otay, and whatever. And he's for it. The department's for it. They would grant us permits to do it. They are not going to pay for it, is their whole deal. They feel that all of their trout has been allocated already, and they're at max capacity for what their hatcheries can put out. They stock a little bit in Murray, they stock in Miramar, they stock a little bit in Cuyamaca, and then really that's it, because they have all these other things, because their hatcheries don't only serve San Diego, they serve Riverside, LA, and all these other counties in Southern California. And so that leads us to, if we could get permits, then we have to buy the trout. as in somebody has to come up with some money outside the DFG, whether it be the city, the county, private interests, whatever it is, we can do it. It's okay on their end. So they're
Let
kind
me
of
hold
washed
on.
their hands of the whole thing, honestly.
So are you saying, and you've done some great work on this for looking into all this. Are you saying that a private or public funding
Oh,
private
absolutely.
can buy trout?
Yeah.
So if our group had a budget for, I don't know, $10,000, I don't know what a
Hmm.
truck comes down to the lake and dumps trout. What is that? $2,500, $5,000? What is that?
Yeah. Well, you're looking at, I don't have my calendar. I don't have my calculator here, but oh, of course, the bigger the trout, the more expensive they are. So they tend to stock them 9 to 12 inches. They seem to feel that that's the best bang for their buck in the size of trout and the money expanded on the
But
trout.
that can come from
If you go
private
back
money.
east, huh?
That can come from private money.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That's
Oh,
what
but
Jim
we do
Swipe
have
looked
to
into
get,
it,
yeah,
and he was,
yeah,
it's not cheap. Oh my God, it's like 50 grand for a season at one lake.
yeah. That's a lot. That's a lot. Well, let's get
Yeah,
let's get
thirty
the
thirty
let's get
thousand.
the
Yeah.
county. Let's get the
I,
county to pay for that.
I just oh yeah, 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 yeah. I just feel that if we could just get our foot in the door and have that stock truck pull up to San Vicente and dump in 600 pounds, which is nothing for a lake that size. I mean, that's what they put in Miramar and Murray on a. They try to do it on a monthly basis, sometimes biweekly basis, and that's super tiny. I mean, it's just like a few scoops. If we could just do that with San Vicente and show and have the pictures there and the press and look, oh look, we brought trout back to San Vicente, which is my main goal is San Vicente at this point. Is it would just make a huge impact, and I think it would just make it so much easier. We just need to get it there,
Right,
to
right.
get some trout in that lake and then go from there. Like we need to clear this first hurdle and get that first stocking in there. You know,
Right
San
on.
Vicente would be a great lake. They used to have holdovers in San Vicente before they raised the dam. They would have holdovers in San Vicente. San Vicente would be a great trout lake. They do the same thing at Diamond Valley. They have, we have
They really
rel-
do. They really, yeah, they
really
do.
we have the same type of shore access as we do in Diamond Valley, as far as the launch ramp and the steep banks. And if they dumped them in right there, they would frickin' school up, and people would be able to catch them right there off the rocks.
Yep,
You know.
yep, yep. That's good work, man. That's good work. So I'm glad you shared that and brought it up, because I want the listeners to see all the stuff we're working on, we're trying to
Yeah.
do.
So
And
okay, so don't one more thing, and this is a pet project of mine, and I feel like I'm being really selfish with this, but at the same time, the whole thing kind of just works together. It works. I want to get Sutherland open on Fridays to launching boats. So launching, you can launch your boat at Sutherland on Friday, Saturday, Sunday instead of just Saturday, Sunday. And I know I'm going to get kickback from the float tubers and the kayakers, because that's the only thing that's allowed at Sutherland at the time on Friday. It would be a big deal if the boaters could launch on a weekday. The one of the reasons is because we lost Hodges. All the boaters lost Hodges for 3 days a week. That's totally closed. The launch ramp's totally closed for that. Kayaks and float tubes have Hodges 3 days a week to themselves at this point. All I'm asking for is Sutherland to be open on a Friday to include launching of boats. And I've gone to Brian Norris. I'm going to throw some names out there because it's what we're doing here. I've talked to Brian Norris a number of times on emails, gone back and forth, and he's given me the answer that he will go to his superiors and they will bring it up on the 2026 budget a year from now, which is, in my opinion, is unacceptable for me, because I want to see it done on February, when the lake reopens this February, like this year, 2025. I've given them a lot of we've gone back and forth, and I've given him scenarios on why, and and it has to do with budget, it has to do with money and moving of personnel and this and that. And I'm like, man, it's only one day. It's so like, oh, my head wants to explode. But as far as I got is them putting it on for the budget consideration budget for 2026 for next year. And
Yeah,
that's how it works. This is how it works.
it is. It is. Well, so what I would say to that, Bruce, and I was on some of those emails with you.
Yeah.
Let's move that up. Let's move that up. So we have our next meeting with Joel's office the first week of December.
Yeah.
You're gonna be on that meeting with
I'll
us.
be there. Yeah.
Let's put that on the agenda. We'll put Sutherland on the agenda because LCAP is already full steam ahead. What we're trying to do with Joel's office. So let's put Sutherland on the agenda to talk.
All it takes is one more person who is already at Sutherland working, because they took him from Lake Hodges and moved him to Sutherland.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too deep into that.
No, it's okay.
So anyway, yeah, okay, yeah, we need to come up with some money to buy a person there to check boats at Sutherland. Check them in the morning before they get launched for one day a week.
Doesn't seem like a big thing to get done, right?
It doesn't seem like a big thing, but here we are.
Well, this has been good. I mean, I hope people listening are seeing, all the things that we're trying to do, because we're going to need you guys. We're going to need you guys and girls.
Yeah.
When we start campaigning again. So, it's all about awareness and being vocal. So hopefully everybody feels like they're up to speed on what we're trying to do. And this was helpful and people got a lot out of this. And then when we come back to you guys and ask you to send a letter or an email and make a phone call, you know why, and you know what we're talking about. Right. So, yeah, I'm trying to be patient. It's just hard, man. It's hard. We all need to be patient, but, we're headed in the right direction and we're making progress. So
yeah,
just follow our pages, please follow our pages and tell your friends. And thank you for all the support. I get a lot of calls and texts. How I can help? How can I help? How can I help? And I try to answer all of them. So I just thank everybody for supporting us.
When's that calendar coming out?
Which calendar?
Okay.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. I got
right.
a new thing for you guys. I think you're gonna like it. We have a nice tournament calendar that's coming out. So if you listen this whole hour,
15 minutes, almost an hour.
We've got a nice tournament calendar coming out. That's going to have all the tournaments on it for next year, all the different organizations on one nice calendar. So easy access, easy to look at, because one of the most popular posts every week is, what tournaments are at El Cap this weekend?
Yep.
What tournaments are at Otay?
Man, totally.
And so we put together something pretty nice. I think everyone's going to like.
Yeah. It looks good.
I'll put it out. I'll put it up this weekend.
Okay.
I don't know when you're gonna put this video out, but
I don't know either. I'm like backed up by 3. I got a few of them in the pipe right now, but I feel like it's important. I was just gonna throw this on with another one. I thought it was gonna only be 10 minutes or 15 minutes. and
too much. Yeah.
It's funny. But now it's gonna get its own podcast. So
that's great. I mean, there's always a lot to talk about, it's just I mean, there's so many different areas.
This one went really fast. I can't believe how much time we put into this already. And it's like, this, I don't know. There's It was easy to talk about. There's a lot to talk about as far as this goes.
There's a lot to get done too, but we can wrap up because that was a lot, and I just thanks for the support, everyone.
Yep. Okay, man. Well, thanks a lot, and we'll have you back on in another month or so.
Let's do it.
Okay. Talk to you later.
See ya.